Hey guys, good morning. Big A coming to you live from the station camp Greenway. I've got it all to myself today. There's not a soul out here because it's been pouring down like a monsoon. Hope you guys are crushing it today. I can't wait to get going on this Monday morning. It's going to be a spectacular day and I can't wait. Hey, I went on a mission trip with 40 people to Madagascar in the Comoro Islands. That's off the east coast of Africa, if you don't know where that's at, right in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Man, I didn't even know that place existed until I was invited to go there. And I want to talk to you about generosity beyond my wildest expectations. Let me give you a little background of the island. First of all, there's 800,000 people. It's one of the smallest countries in the world. It's also one of the poorest countries in the world. The average income on that island is $700 a year. You heard me right. $700 a year is the average income. Well, when we got there, there was somewhat of a hotel, if you want to call it a hotel. And the ambassador of the country met us there. He said, hey, I want to thank you guys for coming. We went kind of as a sports team. It's what we went there to do, to play basketball, but to share the gospel is primarily our reason there. But when we got there, this ambassador met us at the airport and took us over to this hotel. And we went in, and you can't even imagine what this hotel looked like. It wasn't really even a hotel. It was more like some kind of school with little rooms. And when we went into the rooms, we had already been paired up with different people that we were going to stay with in the rooms. And there were 3 people in a room. And when we went in, there were 2 cots. They're like these army cots that you sleep on. But there were 3 of us. And I simply said, hey, there's only 2 cots in the room. And the ambassador goes, oh, hold on. He said, I know exactly where there's another one. He said, I'll be right back. So he left and he went and got a cot and he brought it in there and he put it in the room. And we spent 10 days there. That's a long time to sleep on a cot. But we spent 10 days there. And at the end of our trip, we were cleaning up the rooms and getting ready to go. And as we worked our way down, the ambassador was staying there as well. He wanted to stay there for our protection and our safety. And as we went down to his room to clean up, I noticed there was no bed in there. There was no cot in there. And I said, well, where's your cot? And he just kind of looked down and bowed his head just a little bit. And I said, no, where's your cot? Where's your bed? He said, well, I gave it to you when we got here. I felt about this tall. I couldn't even believe that. The ambassador of this country slept on the floor and he gave me his cot to sleep on, yet he never said a word. He never said, oh, hey, listen, I'm going to give you my bed. And I started thinking about that and I thought, this is a guy that is kind of over the country, and he humbled himself to a point that he gave his bed up and he slept on a concrete floor in kind of a school type setting for my benefit. And man, it so touched me. I started thinking about how much that meant to me. But then I started reflecting on all the times in my life where I'd done something for somebody and I made sure they knew it. It was like I would say it in such a way where they would know that I had sacrificed for them, or even for my family. Sometimes I've done things and I've made it a point to let them know that, well, I did without so you could have. And guys, I want to tell you, that's nothing but ego and pride. For me, it is. I know many of you, I'm sure, don't deal with that kind of thing. But it's made me keep in check the things that I do for people today. And I've been reminded of that over and over and over, this guy's generosity and what he did for me as a person. And he never made any acknowledgement to it whatsoever. Now, we're talking about a country that that really has nothing. They don't have anything there. Matter of fact, we were watching children play soccer with a 2-liter Coke bottle, right? It had the top screwed on it and they were kicking around because they didn't have a ball. And one night we were playing basketball, and one of the guys that was with us on the trip, his name is Toby Fleming. Toby got injured. He caught an elbow to the chin, and I took him to the hospital. And the hospital was a room, one room, had a louver door on it. And we walked into the operating room, and it was a piece of plywood, 4x8 sheet of plywood on 2 Bricko blocks. and they went to sew Toby's chin up with a needle and thread. And I said, well, wait a minute, what about the anesthetic? What about the medicine? He said, we don't have any. And he sewed his chin up laying on a 4x8 sheet of plywood on 2 concrete blocks. And I'm like, man, I can't even imagine that kind of poverty. Yet this guy was so generous that he was willing to give me his bed for 10 days, and he slept on a concrete floor. Guys, I tell you, that spoke to me in a sense of, I need to be generous to people, but I don't need to be shouting it from the mountaintops. I don't need to be sharing with everybody what I'm doing at every given moment. And I just want to encourage you today to sacrificially give for those that you care about, for your family, but we don't necessarily need to be sharing it with the world. Great amount of generosity without any fanfare made a huge impression on me. Well, listen, I got to get back to walking. I hope you're having a good day. Big A coming to you live from the Station Camp Greenway. Let's go out there today and do something for somebody anonymously. Have a great day. I'm Big A. We'll see you.